Okay, my name is Charles Hilton, and my persuasive speech today will be on why NCAA athletes deserve to be paid. This is my wife, Alexis Hilton. She'll be my audience today. I said that one of the reasons why NCAA athletes deserve to be paid is because sports like football and basketball generate millions for their schools, and yet those athletes don't really see any of it. It doesn't make sense. They're not even allowed to use their likeness as well, whether that would be in commercials, whether that would be on maybe speaking on the radio, anything that they could do outside of the sport that they earned while playing, whether it's on the field, on the court, or whatever their sport is, they're not able to, simply because the NCAA does not allow them to for their own personal reasons, just because they're looked at as amateurs, yet they bring in all of this money and aren't allowed to see any of it. Because I feel like once you're making that much, you're no longer a amateur because you're producing all of this for other people, but you can't do anything yourself. And something else, athletes do not have time to work, especially while they're in season with the school loads, because a lot of those athletes attend top schools. And when you're at those top schools, those schools are known for sports and their education as well. So you got to spend a lot of time in practice, and also that time you have to be studying and doing other things. You don't have time for a job, which means that you have no way to get money. And just a little something interesting. In 2018, Nick Saban, the head football coach for Alabama, made about $11 million, and his offensive coordinator, Brian DeBall, made over $1 million. And the schools in the NCAA had enough money to pay them all that money, even though Alabama is a top school. And they do win a lot of games. They sell out all the time and things like that. They had all the money to pay those guys money that they do have their role, but the athletes are the ones that are actually sacrificing a lot more than they are. And they're the ones that are actually having to risk injuries and things like that because they're actually out there on the field, yet they can't see any of it. And something else, another interesting fact is, football is one of the sports that is known to have to pay for other sports productions as well. So the money generated from football is spent elsewhere, whether it be to help get new soccer jerseys or something needs to get rebuilt. They just use money from sports that generate a lot to, I guess, fix things in other schools. I found that interesting because why can't the school do that themselves? Why does a sport? Why would you take away from students that go out there and work hard and say, yeah, but we're gonna need you guys' money that you generate to fund everything else, when the school has the funds for it itself? The school just doesn't want to. So that means that's money that those athletes could be making themselves, because a lot of those athletes, they don't come from very rich places and things like that, and their families don't have a lot of money. So they're over there at that school playing sports, generating all this money. They're top 5-star athletes, yet it doesn't really feel like it because they're not being treated as such. It doesn't make sense. Also, everybody likes to say free education and things like that, but the education does not cost millions, so it doesn't really equate to how much work that they're putting in, their sacrifice and things like that. It doesn't really even out. Something else, in 2017, the NCAA reported revenue of $1.1 billion that year. Yet players weren't able to see any of it, nor were they able to go out and commercials and make money off of it, nor are they able to sell their jerseys and things like that. Players have gotten in trouble for the past for selling their own things, selling their own jerseys and things like that. But something for the future that we're starting to see is California signed the Fair Pay to Play Act, which will then allow players to make money off of their likeness and things like that starting in 2023. So meaning that I guess star players that play in that state will now have a chance to, whether it's going to commercials and things like that, and find other ways to make money using themselves, using their platform, whether it be them playing football, soccer, it doesn't matter. If somebody wants to pay them to do something, or somebody wants to pay them to, for whatever reason, of course, like within the laws and things like that, they would be allowed to. But the NCAA does not like it, so it's a thing that they could be threatening to not allow those schools to play, because it's unfair when it comes to recruiting. Because I'm pretty sure that more young people would want to go play where there's a chance to make more money instead of going to play where you're not allowed to. So they would be able to get more top athletes and things like that. But it's a chance it could also start a trickling effect, and then more states will allow their players to be paid and to make money off of themselves, which they should be able to. And yeah, that's it.